Welcome to the Clean Comedy Podcast, featuring JamesDCreviston and LukeLacoy. Yeah, we're about to get clean up in here, so clean your mouth out with a bar of soap and get ready for the Clean Comedy Podcast.
Hey everybody, it's James. Welcome to the Clean Comedy Podcast. Today, I have my co-host and amazing friend, Mr. LukeLacoy. Say hi, Luke.
Wow, amazing friend.
This is the Best Friends Podcast. No, I'm just kidding. we should do something like that. We should get David Ross on and do like the Best Friends Podcast. But today, we have a great guest for you guys. So we are just, I don't know how we're lucking out, but we're getting some of the best people in the world. And this guy is, he's the meme king, basically. Like, he knows everything about memes. I found out about him through an article about how much he does memes and how good he is at memes. So let's just jump into it with Mike Charette. Mike, here we go. All right. Is he there? Oh. Mike, are you there?
There we go. We're doing it.
Yes. All right.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I don't know how to do Zoom still. I don't know what's going on.
No worries. I love your little meme thing that you made there. That's so cool.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, it's fitting, I think, right? I don't like the cropping though. That's the only thing I don't like.
Nah, it's all good. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got started in comedy, and then how you got onto this meme thing, because that's how I found out about you, was an article about how you write memes and stuff, and it's kind of cool.
Wow, thank you. So I started doing stand-up comedy about 11 years ago in Orlando, Florida, sunny Orlando, and comedy just sort of started out as, hey, I'm just doing this for free. I like telling jokes. And then, I started working enough to where I could sustain, a living doing stand-up and working in comedy, which eventually led to a lot of free time. I think a lot of comics know about that. And so I was able to kind of search around for different types of, gigs and weird ways to make money. And, I was trying to help people write stand-up comedy. That was like my first gig. And then I was like, let's just, as a joke, throw a Fiverr, like a meme gig on Fiverr. And and then people actually paid me to make memes for them.
Isn't that awesome? The best thing about Fiverr, I do Fiverr too. So cool. The best thing about Fiverr is that you're like, I don't think this is going to work. And then stuff totally works. Like, I threw up there writing screenplays or editing, punching up screenplays and adding humor or dialogue and writing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I had tons of friends who are actual screenwriters, who are WGA people. Like, no one's ever going to pay you for that. That's stupid. Like, only production companies pay for that. I'm like, well, who do indie directors and stuff go to? Like, they write it themselves. But I've had a ton of indie directors and a ton of people who want to do, are actors or whatever. They're like, look, I'm not a writer, but I need a show, or I want a web series, or I want to make a movie or whatever. And it paid off, dude. Like, I'm making a livable salary from writing stuff for
Looks
people.
Looks like you live in a nice house.
Actually, this is from a sitcom. I won't say which one, but we'll let people guess. But I always do a different background for every episode. So the last episode was Community, and this one is, I'm not going to say because everybody will have to guess and type it in the comments. But but yeah, and now you lived in Orlando, and now you live in Las Vegas. Is that right?
Yeah, I moved to Las Vegas. I work for Bonkers Comedy Club. That's kind of like my day gig. I manage their office stuff. And they moved me out to Vegas to basically continue working for them. And
is there a Bonkers in Vegas?
Yeah, we have a couple locations: Ramparts Casino, Top Golf. We have a show there.
Oh yeah,
we have a show at the Palm. That was a newer contract. And then, occasionally, the corporate, those types of gigs, those just happen awesome. Kind of randomly. Yeah.
That's my old stomping ground. I graduated from UNLV. I went to Green Valley High School. So Vegas is my old stomping ground. So that's awesome, dude. There wasn't that much comedy when I was growing up there. And then
really?
No, not at all. I mean, there was I think before it was Brad Garrett Comedy Club, it was somebody else's comedy club. And then there was a couple of main people like Danny Gans or people like that who had like big shows that were reoccurring shows.
Right.
But there wasn't any comedy clubs. Like I had never seen a comedy club in Vegas. No. And then over the last probably 8 to 10 years, they started blowing up. But I was there when the blow up of the UFC. Like that was the big thing that was going on in Vegas at the time I lived there. Like there were more MMA gyms than there were Starbucks, if you can believe that. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. There's a big UFC facility off the 215. Is it? I don't know.
That's the headquarters. That's the headquarters of the UFC.
Oh, okay. That's what that is.
It used to be on the other side of town, and it was kind of like in a janky area, and it like sucked. And then they built that because that 215 area, I lived off Rainbow 215. That 215 area was a lot of desert and stuff, so they bought up that whole area and built that. And when what's funny is my old MMA gym is 2 blocks up from where they built that facility, and now I think it's closed now, but it used to be Warrior MMA, and you used to train with like Forrest Griffin and Matt Riddle and just like a ton of those guys. So that's what I originally did before I found comedy. I used to do MMA stuff.
Oh,
and then you can only get punched so many times and be sore every day and try to work where you're like, you know what, I got to do something else. I mean, I still like fighting, don't get me wrong, but I want to do comedy. Comedy is so much more fun and less violent.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's so interesting too how you did MMA, and I think it's like so awesome how now you have this like lifetime skill of defending yourself.
Yeah.
Like I'm a virgin in my face. I've never been punched in the face.
I always tell people
my face virginity.
Well, I always tell people the best feeling in the world, and this is going to sound weird, the best feeling in the world is punching another man in the face. Like
really?
It just really is. Like it's like people will argue and say, "Oh, that's so aggressive. You're still whatever." It's like, no, dude. Like until you do it and you feel that snap of that like punch onto their face. I broke a dude's nose in a box. Like we're boxing, just sparring. I broke his nose. Like it was amazing. I went home that night and I was like, I broke somebody's nose, and my wife was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, "It was awesome." She's like,
do you listen to Joe Rogan?
I do. Yeah, pretty often.
Did you listen to Mike Tyson's interview recently?
I listened to his first one, I think, but I don't think I listened to the second one.
Okay, I don't know. Like your show, is it clean? I mean, we could talk about stuff, right? Doesn't matter.
We're clean as long as you don't curse or stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, Mike Tyson talked about really enjoying beating guys up too. Yeah. He was like, I mean, he asked Joe Rogan, he's like, do you know anything about that? You know, just that high you get from beating people up, and Joe Rogan's like, no, absolutely not. I don't know. But
Joe Rogan used to be like a judo champion. He used to like do karate and judo and stuff. So yes, he does know that.
It was a little bit more specific. There was a specific part of Mike Tyson's thing that was. You'll have to go back and listen to it. But
I will.
I was like, I don't know about that one, but hey, it's the sport that you do, So.
So what made you decide to do memes? Did you do memes just to like, oh, this would be funny to see if it actually works? Or are you like love memes? Because I don't know. I'm not good at memes.
Well, you asked me that earlier. I totally forgot to answer that question. But so the way I got into memes was basically I just thought they were such a funny form of entertainment. Like I saw this meme and I can't remember I was trying to think of the first meme that I saw. But I think it was the Tom Hanks meme in Castaway. And I saw that and I was like, this is hilarious. I can't even remember what the caption was. And I was just like, I want to just share these on the internet. And then I was like, I'm doing comedy and I'm trying not to, add too many memes to my comedy Instagram. I have these awesome pictures of me on stage. So I created a separate account for making memes and sharing memes, initially just sharing memes. And then that turned into like actually making memes. It's like, oh, I got this funny idea. Let me see if I could, just put it out there, throw some hashtags and see what happens. And, I did that a few times and like some big accounts actually shared my, my content. And so I was like, okay, I mean, if they're sharing my content, then I must be, decent at something here, so, and people need memes mostly for business. A lot of people reach out to me for advertising, and they're trying to find creative ways to be, or just ways to be creative in advertising. So they want me to make memes for them. But that's how it started, was through Instagram and just talking shit through memes. If I can't write a joke about it, I can probably write a meme about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Luke, did you have a question?
I was looking some of your stuff up and I came across a meme that I've seen on TikTok a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, it was like the when grandma writes the Wi-Fi password
It just goes on and on
Yeah,
forever.
yeah. Hilarious. And it was like that long Wi-Fi. What a great way to not have
Yep.
people on your Wi-Fi.
So you run Bonker stuff. What do you actually do for Bonkers Comedy Club? Do you do the bookings? Do you do the setup? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so I don't do any of the booking of the comedians, so don't reach out to me. I can't get you a guest spot. I mean, if you're funny, and I could definitely back you up and probably get you a guest spot.
Right.
Just got to see that. Just got to see the jokes. But it's just general office work, like talking to people who buy tickets, who, you know, who want to make reservations, or they're asking about comedians or where to park. I just basically just all the, you know, all the
Customer service stuff.
Yeah, customer service stuff. It's awesome. I work from home. I look at memes all day. I write memes all day, and I answer the phone. It's so chill.
Dude, that's the best job. You get to do comedy stuff. You get to just relax at home, and you get to make memes. Like, what more is there in life?
I mean, I feel like it's pretty decent. You know, it's like I'm not killing the game, you know, financially, but it's whatever. I mean, who cares?
Life is not all about money, man.
It's not. It's not. And I have to tell myself that constantly.
I do too, right? When I see these people in my neighborhood driving Teslas, and I'm like, I've got a 2006 Toyota Highlander, I have to be like, oh man, you know what? My car's awesome. It's a Toyota. It's awesome.
A Highlander. You have a nice car. That's a prime vehicle in Vegas. That gets you around.
That's when I bought it, was in Vegas, so that makes sense.
SUVs.
And then what are your goals? Like, what do you want to do, or what have you seen come from making memes and doing stuff like this? Have you seen, like, you probably do as a side hustle, so you probably get a little bit of extra income for spending money or whatever, stuff like that. But what do you see happening with it? Like, are you going to pivot at some point and go into a more marketing direction, or do you think this is something that's going to be sustainable? Are memes a sustainable thing for the future?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. Just like any other form of media, you know, I mean, memes are constantly, because, you know, I follow like meme culture. I think it's really interesting. And I'm always like looking for a new laugh, and people are insane. Yeah. And there's just some great stuff out there. But memes are just like turning into just so many different types of things that it's hard to like keep up with. I mean, when sometimes people reach out to me for different projects, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know what's going to go viral anymore. You know, I don't know what people like, you know. It's just, you kind of throw it out there, and you try to, put enough ideas into it, make it funny. But I think it's definitely going in the video direction, which is why, I mean, I see a lot of video memes popping up on Instagram, and but that could just be Instagram's algorithm catering to my
your meme love.
What I like, yeah. So
now, will you be able to make video memes? Like, if that's something that somebody came and requested of you, would you be able to do that?
I actually I have a Fiverr gig for video memes. And quick plug there. And people have actually reached out to me to make, for me to help them make like TikTok memes. A musician reached out to me. He wanted me to make a meme out of his music video.
That's cool.
So there's, it's good.
That is so cool, man. Like, I did the started like you. I wrote stand up for people. I wrote for a couple of headliners and big name people that if I said their name, people would know exactly who they are. And then I decided I would turn that into.
Who are they? I'm interested. I
can't
know.
say it on here, but I'll tell you after. I'll tell you after
Okay.
we get off. I signed an NDA, so I can't tell you on here. But so I did that, and then I was like, oh, well, I had a job where I worked from home as well, and I was like, oh, in my downtime, I'll just put stuff on Fiverr and write jokes for people. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. I started writing jokes for people, and then I started writing like speeches and working on stuff, and then now it's progressed to writing screenplays and scripts and web series. Yeah. And then also, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Harmon Brothers. They're like do all those like Squatty Potty commercials and like Purple and those whatever. So I took their course, and now I do like Harmon Brothers style videos based on their template and their style. I make those for people as well. So
cool.
I mean, and now it's a livable wage. Like I could basically live on what I make on Fiverr, and I think that's the future. Unfortunately, is that we have to, as comedians, be entrepreneurs as well. So one of my phrases I have is the Comedypreneur Show and the Queen Comedy Podcast. But the Comedypreneur Show is all about taking your funny and turning it into money. So turn your funny into money, because people need comedy, and you found a thing like making memes. Luke does TikTok. He promotes TikTok for people and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, Luke. And how does that work with memes and TikTok?
Oh, for memes, I have no idea.
Well, you said you saw memes on TikTok. That's what I was asking.
Oh yeah, I've seen them come across my feed because like I try to stay in tune with like anything comedy, but it's usually not that. It's things I don't want to see. But yeah, I help a friend manage his account, and it's growing like really well. So that's all we could hope for.
Yeah. TikTok's crazy right now. Like I have a couple buddies who are both over 1 million followers on TikTok right now, just through the lockdown. They're both at Jeff Wright, you can check him out, 2.5 million. Ben Brainerd, he's at 1.3 million right now. And then there's a couple guys just in that little group, that little community, who are all like 100,000+ followers on TikTok.
Wow.
Like, crazy. I mean, as a comedian, you guys know that those are big numbers. It's 100,000 people.
But the question though is, how does it translate to people coming out to shows? Because I know that is a big question that comedy clubs do, like with Bonkers or like out here where the Improvs or the Comedy Store. Like, well, how many followers do you have on Twitter? How many followers do you have on Instagram? How many followers do you have on the? I'm like, that doesn't really convert, because I know people who have a ton of followers on social media, but can't get one person to come out to their show. So it's like, that doesn't equate to me.
Right.
So I don't know. So how do you monetize that? How do you turn that into something that actually is a real fan base?
Dude, it's a great question because sorry, I get all into this.
No, I love
it. So my buddy Ben, he turned his TikTok follower account into a Patreon account, which now people are subscribing to Ben per month for his content.
That's smart.
So it's like an OnlyFans, but for comedians, it's Patreon. And you find ways to monetize it that way. Some guys are trying to drive more of their fans to YouTube channels to monetize their YouTube videos. If you have a lot of followers and you can't get people out to shows, then they're probably not following you for stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
So, but if you're a comedian and you have a lot of followers, then those guys can sell out without any social media.
Yeah. I have no social media. I've gone away from that and I moved on to my own thing. But at some point, we probably will take this.
But you do have a social media. Your YouTube channel is a social media.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. I just think of like Twitter and Instagram or whatever as social media.
Yeah.
But like for YouTube, I do get engagement and whatever like that. We do get that stuff, but I don't think of it as social media. I think of like, I'm providing you good content that you can come and watch and entertainment. Yeah. And that's my goal. Like, I don't care if you come out to my shows. I just want to provide the good stuff to people.
Right.
That's probably the big thing there.
Yeah. It's less about who you follow on YouTube and more about who, or like what you put out for the people who follow you.
Right. Yeah.
Which is how social media, I feel like, should be. And I feel like that's the healthiest way to consume social media. Follow your family, follow like your one or two best friends, and then follow like a bunch of companies and shit that you're interested in. Don't follow people that like, who have like come into your life and who are just, you just follow out of curiosity. It's just like never good. Yeah. YouTube is good though, because you don't have to deal with that. And so is TikTok. James, you should have a TikTok for this show.
I have two daughters and they have advised me against getting on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're like, no, Dad, we don't want you on TikTok. So we're not going to do that.
Gotcha.
If Luke wants to take clips from the podcast or whatever and put them on TikTok and make an account, that's perfectly fine. But I won't have a personal TikTok. So maybe Luke can do that. Maybe I can hire Luke to do that.
There we go. Stuff. Let's do it.
So where can people find you? Where can they find your gig? Where can they find more of your comedy and stuff?
I just recently had my website taken down, but new website. This is a weird plug, but I sell cryptocurrency merchandise, and I'm really into Bitcoin and Ethereum and just cryptocurrency culture. So I created a store. It's called decentralizedgear.com. If anybody's into cryptocurrency, I sell shirts and cool like logos. This one right here, this is the Gucci Bitcoin logo. And then, on Fiverr, Mike Charette, I do memes and that stuff. That's it.
Have you heard of Cardano?
Cardano, no. Who's that?
Cardano is like a new cryptocurrency.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't hear. There's a lot of new ones.
Yeah, no, my buddy Nick Black, I'll plug him, but he does a crypto currency show on YouTube every week, and he is a big Cardano fan. So
Oh, cool.
I hope I'm saying that right, because I think that's what what's called. But
I'm gonna look it up now. I want to look it up.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I guess they pay you somehow for owning the currency or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. All right, sorry to get down that rabbit hole, everybody. That's if you start going down the crypto.
Talk about it, man. It's awesome.
Start going down the crypto hole, man. There's so much stuff there.
It's the internet.
Yeah. And Luke, where can everybody find you at?
LukeLacoy on places.
What places would that be, Luke? What places can they find you?
Oh, Instagram.
You have your own TikTok?
I have my own TikTok.
Luke, I'm adding you.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. That's awesome. There you go. Perfect. And then you can find me JamesDCreviston.com or ComedyPerdue.com, or if you go to Fiverr and type in James D. Creviston, you can find all the stuff that I offer there. I get hit up every day. If you ask me for memes, I'm just going to send you over to Mike. So don't ask me for memes.
Please do.
Yeah, I am. I get that every now and then. I'm just going to send you to Mike and say, listen, I don't do memes, but I know the king of memes.
And I know the guy.
Yeah, he will do it for you. He'll make your memes pop. So
popping out.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike, so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to put in here what the background is so that we can shout you out on YouTube or in the next podcast. And have a great week. Bye.
Yeah, we're about to get clean up in here. So clean your mouth out with a bar of soap and get ready for the clean cut.